Welcome everybody to my channel. Today we're doing another YouTube video. Today's review is Studio Series Sentinel Prime. This is part of the TF1 collection, or Transformers one. So yeah, let's start the review now. So we got the box first off. It's the new style of box. Unfortunately, he does not come with the back. Not unfortunately, because you could throw away the box with no excuses. So yeah. Starting off at the front, we have the Studio Series logo there, or I guess Studio Series line. This is, once again, Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime. We have an image of Sentinel Prime on the top, and then we have another image on the bottom of his alt mode. Going around this side, we have another image of his bot mode and his name right there. And then we have Transformers, Studio Series Transformers 1. And going around back, this is what it looks like. It depicts a kind of a scene of... It's kind of hard to get the lighting because my lamp's right there, but I can't really point at it, but either way, Sentinel Prime is a leader of Icon City and fights to save Cybertron from the Quintessons. Okay, that is okay. Apparently, even this box is an advocate for Sentinel. Kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, this is a nice looking box. He has 17 steps to transform. Then going around the side, the Transformers Studio Series, and then he is a Voyager class figure. Alright, so let's get into the figure itself. So the Sentinel Prime, he has technically 3 modes. He has 2 modes that are robot mode, and he has 1 alt mode. So yeah, starting off, we have his little shield here, which can separate these little cannon kind of thingies, can separate from the main shield if it would let me. Hard to get out once they're in, but you can have them hold them or something like that. If it would let me, that'd be nice. Come on, go in. There we go. You can have them hold them. You can do whatever, but I usually prefer to keep them in so that way they're in already, because it's annoying to put these in and take these out. I'll actually put these in. It's not hard, but take these out. Man, yeah, it's annoying. All right, so yeah, that's the shield. It can clip on to the sides here. I'll show you where you can clip it on in the alt mode as well. So just put it right here, and then boom, he has his shield here. So that's pretty nice. As for the actual character, we have quite a bit going on. Now this is a pretty small figure. I'll be showing that when I actually get to my scaling. So yeah, actually, what scale figures do I have to scale with them? I guess I have Bumblebee. Oh, let me grab something real quick. And there we go. Sorry if I'm sorry if I'm making a stupid decision by grabbing figures, but I'm trying to get this done, so I don't want to have to pause the video later on. So we have our Sentinel Prime figure here, starting off with the face. I don't know why there's a hole drilled. It's like a slight hole drilled in my version's eye, but I hope that's not a problem for everyone else. Yeah, he has pretty broad shoulders, kind of the Vector Prime shoulders. He has nice chest plates. These do move when you get into his battle mode, so that's pretty nice. You also have pretty nice looking arms. You got a little bit of detail on there, so that's pretty nice. Hands don't move, but that will go into that articulation. There is a little nice little chest, like lower chest part. This does separate when you do go into the robot mode though, or alt mode though. So yeah, you'll notice that eventually. Then you got some upper legs, and then you got the normal crotch piece. And then you also got some shin guards, stuff like that. And yeah, or not shin guards, knee pads. Yeah, and then you got some pretty nice looking feet. And then you got some yellow on the side. Kind of breaks the look a little bit too much for me, but I guess that's technically the design of the character, I think. So it's hard to tell. And then going around back, he is pretty big around the back, but that makes sense. And then he does have these little, like, I guess they're supposed to be cannons around here. And then he has a stripe that unfortunately does break when you're with these parts, but that's fine. So yeah, and then you do have a little nose cone that's kind of hanging out. So breaks up a little bit, but these back parts kind of help make it blended a little bit more. So yeah, pretty nice figure. So let's actually get into the articulation now, because I do want to get that into that. So starting off, the head turns not 360 degrees. It turns about 180, or not 180, 90 degrees to the left and 90 degrees to the right, give or take. So yeah, a head articulation is fine. This figure does have a battle mask, so that's an excuse you can give for that. Okay, this figure's annoying to turn his head though. You also do have an upward motion on his head, although it makes him look like he has an Adam's apple, and it kind of looks goofy. So, but he doesn't have any downward motion on the head. So, yeah. As for the arms, they can go all the way around. However, it's kind of hard with these wings on the back. So, yeah. And you can go pretty far out. You can't go fully up because these shoulder pads here, or not, yeah, shoulder pads. And then you also do have a bicep swivel here, and then you do have a nice little 90-degree elbow bend, and then hands unfortunately cannot move, but yeah, it's kind of whatever sort of situation right now. As for the waist, you can turn it around. You can take it off, I believe, if you wanted to, but it's not a good idea. I haven't tried, but I'm not going to try, so yeah. And then the legs, let's go move this real quick. You can go all the way out like that. If you don't, actually, never mind. You can't even go all the way out. You can go pretty far up, and you can go fairly far back, considering the wing or the head kibble there. Yeah. And then you do have a nice little knee bend, and you also have a little toe. You could bring the toes up and down like that, and you do have a nice little ankle pivot. So that's pretty nice, And then the wings can go back and forward and stuff like that. So if you want to have them with less of a profile and kind of look more accurate to the movie version, you can have it like that. Or you could have them fully splayed out, make them look a little bit bigger. So now I do want to get into the articulation before I go into the transformation to do modes. So we're going to put him right here. I'm not going to compare it with figures that are like leaders, and I'm going to compare it with his other characters from the movie. So first of all, we have Bumblebee. Bumblebee's pretty small, so it does make sense that he is relatively he looks relatively big in comparison. Next figure is TF1 Optimus. He's pretty much the same height. He's slightly, ever so slightly taller, and that's mainly because of the wings. But yeah. And then lastly, we have TF1 Megatron. You may be able to tell I hot glued my two parts of the cannon together because mine broke. So yeah. Also, this arm is about as floppy as ever. Like if I try to pose it, it just kind of goes like that, like as you can tell. But I'll go into that when I review this figure. But yeah, pretty nice. They're about the same height too, except with the wings added on, it's going to be a little bit taller. But yeah. All right. So now we're going to get the transformation to the battle mode. So starting off, we're just going to take these and we're going to turn them like this. So just do that both. Bring this flap down here, and then you got to get the Adam's apple, and you're going to bring the mask up like that. And then you bring these flaps up here. Make sure you don't move the arm. And then you're going to bring this out like that, and do the same on the other side. Pretty simple. And then you bring these, you grab this part of the arm, or you can technically grab any part of the arm, and then kind of let this go out like that. And then now we'll extend the lower arms to where they're covering the hands. So you do the same on both sides. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to actually do it, though. It might be a little bit too far, but that's how I do it. So if you want to extend it a little bit, if you want to make it to where it's a little bit further up there, you can do that. And then for the legs, we go to these little flaps here that I already mentioned, and then you open that, and then you bring this out, and you just close it back up to where you could see the little cannon thingies on the feet, and do the same with this side here. And then for this, you bring this out here, the back of the foot, and then you bring this little thing out here, and then you just do that, and like that on both sides, and then you're pretty much done once I get this actually. Yep, there we go. Come on. Yep, there we go. Okay. Yep. So that is it. He becomes a little bit taller. Actually, I'm going to compare that real quick if I can get him to stand. Unfortunately, the big thing about this version of the figure is he cannot stand for jack. It's kind of a problem, but it makes sense considering the fact I doubt you're going to have this guy in hyperdynamic poses. Probably the most posable. This is probably his least posable version besides the jet mode. Oh, so that means it's second most posable. I'm going to try to hold him up while I get my Optimus to at least compare him there. So yeah, as you can tell, a fair bit taller due to the things on the bottom there. So yeah, The only real changes are the battle mask that he has, and then the cannons all over, and then technically these become cannons too, although they don't really look like cannons, but yeah. Alright, so now, I'm actually going to transform him into his jet mode from here, because it's a little bit easier, because you already have a couple of the things done. So, first of all, you're going to want to bring these back. I mean, technically you don't have to, but it's preferred if you do. And then you bring this back down, and then you put the battle mask down back into his little chest there. And then what you do is you kind of want to bring these in, and then do that. Do the same thing on both sides, and boom, we're done with that. And then you just bring these in, and you plug it in like that. Plug it in like that, and boom. All right. So now for the transforming it to the actual jet mode, we're going to want to start by putting these pieces together here. You'll see that their legs tab in, so make sure it's all nice and tight, and then bring the nose cone up here. So just bring that out and kind of jimmy it until it's good, and then bring these out here. Make sure these are out of the way. So just going to grab this and then kind of jimmy it out like that. Then what you're going to do is you'll notice that there's a hole, and then there's a tab on the wing here, or the nose cone. You're just going to bring that to where it's like this, and then connect it like that. So we're good there. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn, actually, never mind, you don't turn this around. I was thinking about turning it around, but I was like, oh, never mind. And then you bring this, you kind of get it, and then you kind of accordion it out like this, and then bring it down. If it let me, that'd be nice. There we go. Okay. Then you tab this together like that, and then you're pretty much good. This alt mode's pretty easy to transform into for a Voyager class, but yeah, that's expected. So then you go down here. You'll notice these little thingies on the legs that were in there in the robot mode too. Then there's some things here, and then you kind of connect it together like that. Okay. Do the same on both sides like that. Wait. Yeah, get in there. These things are hard to get in there because, unfortunately. But you'll see later that they don't really need to be connected like that too bad. But, yeah. All right. Then, for the wings here, we're going to want to bring this. Okay, we're going to do this here. We're going to want to bring this out and then kind of make it look like that. So, where it's all connected like that, but now the wing is kind of... Okay, if it let me, that'd be nice. Come on. There we go. Okay, so do the same on both sides, but just put that back. And then, like I said, do the same on both sides. There we go. So then, we go here. We notice that there's a little tab sort of thing here. And then on the arm, it's hard to tell because the lighting is atrocious in this room. But you do tab these together, you'll notice. Kind of bring them in like that. Boom. Okay. Like I said, it pretty much just that part does the job for you there. So, yeah. And then you do that again. And then it should all be nice and tight with your new alt mode. So, this alt mode's pretty nice looking overall. Do I have some complaints about it? Yeah. The undercarriage is not exactly the most appealing of things, and that's where you're going to normally see it. Like, if you're an Autobot looking up, you're going to see, all you're going to see is Sentinel's face staring directly at you, and then he's going to look like he's just going to look stupid. But from the top, it's pretty nice overall. Pretty nice solid figure, too. I forgot to mention that. It's a nice solid figure. You can put the shield on this tab here, and then kind of position it. And I actually forgot a step. Silly me. So, one thing I forgot is that you're supposed to bring these up. I'm sure you probably noticed it by now, but I didn't. So, just wanted to tell you all. And then, then you can put the shield in. So, that's pretty nice. And then, yeah, like I said, the top profile is pretty good. Bottom profile, not so much. So, yeah. Pretty nice overall. This is what it looks like. Unfortunately, there is no landing gear except Sentinel's chest and then the feet here, kind of. Actually, no, it's like that. You can kind of see there's a kind of landing gear, which like I said, there's a chest and then that area right there, like the shin guards. So yeah, pretty nice figure overall, pretty nice alt mode. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I will see you guys later. Bye.